Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you with a very simple question. Should you or should you not buy cryptocurrency? Now, the first thing I got to say is that I am not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice, so you're not going to get a yes or no answer to that question from me. You need to do your own research. You need to use your own adult brain, and you need to make your own decision. But what I can do, perhaps, is help you think about investing in the asset class of cryptocurrency in a way that perhaps you have not thought about it before. Now, cryptocurrency is a realm that freaks people out. I mean, people are scared to death. I talk to a lot of people who have not bought any cryptocurrency yet, and most of them, they say the same thing. Yes, I've been looking at cryptocurrency. I've been thinking about cryptocurrency, but I'm too afraid to buy any cryptocurrency because it's just so complex and I don't understand it, and I don't feel comfortable buying something that I don't understand. And then they keep saying things like, but I wish I would have bought it last November. I wish I would have bought it last March. I wish I would have bought it last fall. I wish I would have. I wish I would have. All right. Let's talk about investing in general. Let's talk about financial knowledge. And what I want to propose to you is that we're all taught, all of us who live in the United States of America, and to a certain degree, this is the same pretty much all over the world, that there's a certain financial doctrine that we're taught from the time that we're young. In the United States, it looks something like this. Number one, in the U.S. dollar we trust. Trust the U.S. dollar. Your value is always determined by how many U.S. dollars you can amass for yourself. So value equals number of U.S. dollars. That's the first part of the financial doctrine that we're taught from our youth. Second component of that financial doctrine is this. Trust the U.S. banks. Amass as many U.S. dollars as you can. Store them in a savings account in a U.S. bank. That is the safest place to put your money. So number one, trust the dollar. Number two, trust the bank. And number three, here's the third component of the financial doctrine that we are taught in this country. Number three is buy a piece of real estate as soon as you possibly can. Let's make that even a little bit more explicit. Borrow money from a U.S. bank to buy a piece of real estate with your hard-earned, saved U.S. dollars that you have been storing in the U.S. bank. So save dollars, store them in the bank, and buy real estate. This is the financial knowledge we have. This is the financial doctrine that we have been taught. And what I want to propose to you is that if you would simply stop and ask yourself a simple question, you might become a bit suspicious of that doctrine. All three of those tenets benefit who? Who is the primary beneficiary of all three of those tenets? If you said the U.S. bank, the U.S. banking system, you are absolutely correct. It is to the greatest benefit of the U.S. banking system and its bankers if you would save your U.S. dollars, keep them stored in the bank in a savings account, and only use the dollars that you've saved, that you've amassed, as a down payment to the bank to get a loan from the bank to buy a piece of real estate that has been financed by the bank. Think about it. Saving money in a savings account means that the bank has dollars to loan to people who are going to buy houses. Secondly, when you take out a bank loan in order to buy a home, the bank gets its money regardless. Number one, the home that you just bought is collateral. The bank holds the deed. You don't get the deed until you pay off that mortgage. Number two, you're paying interest to the bank, which means you're not only buying the house from the bank, but you're paying an exorbitant amount of interest on that loan. Number three, the bank's going to turn around and probably sell that loan and get their profit up front. And then the person who bought that, the entity that buys the loan, is going to sell it, and it's going to change hands multiple times. Multiple entities are going to profit off of your purchase of your home. So who bears all the liability for that? You. Because if you lose your job and can't pay your mortgage, the bank takes the home and sells the home and makes its money back. The bank doesn't have any liability there. If the housing market crashes, does the bank get evicted? No. You're the one who gets foreclosed on. You're the one who loses your home. The bank's simply going to short sell the home, make its money back or as much as possible, and then get a bailout from the U.S. government so that it can keep on teaching average boys and girls like you and me that the best financial advice and the best pathway that you can take for your financial future is to save as many U.S. dollars as you can, store them in a U.S. bank, and then use those dollars to get a bank loan to buy a piece of real estate. Now, am I saying don't buy a house? No, I'm not saying don't buy a house. Am I saying that buying a house is a bad investment? No, I'm not saying buying a house is a bad investment. I'm simply saying it is not the best investment that you can make. And a lot of people say, like you talk to the average, when I talk to the average person and you mention investment, the first thing they say is real estate. I want to get into real estate. I want to get into real estate. I want to do real estate and I want to buy investment properties and I want to, rent those properties out and I want to use the money from that to take another mortgage out to buy another investment property and buy another investment property and buy another investment property, not realizing how dangerous that is. Now let me just break this down a little bit. I have 5 criteria for assessing any investment in any asset class. These 5 criteria, and I think if you think through this, it's going to help you understand this a little bit better. First criteria is potential profitability. How much can I possibly make from this investment? Second criteria is liquidity. And liquidity means how quickly can I get in or out of this investment? Third criteria is liability, which means how much can I lose on this investment? Third component is complexity. Complexity is how much time, effort, labor, how complex is it to actually enter into this investment and maintain this investment? And then the fifth and final is leverage. How much do I have to borrow to enter into this investment? Now, if you think of those things, profitability, liquidity, liability, complexity, and leverage, and you set up cryptocurrency next to real estate, get out of here. Profitability. Look at this Bitcoin chart. Just look at this Bitcoin chart. Profitability in the last 10 years, Bitcoin has made 1,482,514% profit. Meaning, let's talk about complexity. How complex? Buy a Bitcoin in 2011. Step 2, wait. Step 3, sell your Bitcoin today, even at a 50% drop from where it was a couple months ago, and you made 1.5 million%. Okay? Let's look at the real estate market in the same time period, actually going back a couple of years prior to its bottom in 2009. The real estate market has made 804%. That doesn't mean that you made 804% if you bought a house that, let's say you bought something in 2009, and let's say it appreciated 804%, which it didn't, by the way. If you bought something in 2009, you are not sitting on an 804% gain. But this is what the market has done. This is actually the stock, basically, the index. If you were to buy real estate as an index as a stock. But let's just say you're sitting at an 804% gain. Well, number one, you've been paying interest to the bank on that loan. Number 2, you've been paying property taxes. Number 3, when you buy a piece of real estate, you've got all kinds of hidden liabilities, like busted pipes underground that you don't know about, termites in the wall that you don't know about, asbestos in the ceiling that you don't know about. That is, you buy a home and there's all these hidden and unforeseen liabilities that you don't know about. So if you've owned this home for the last 12 years, go back and add up all of the costs, everything that went into making the home what it is, everything that went into maintaining it, all of the interest that you've paid on the loan that you took out from the bank, and all of the property taxes that you paid, and subtract that from your profit, and then try to sell the house, and now you're going to pay a real estate agent 5% of the total value of the house. this number drops substantially. You did not make 800%. So in terms of profitability, Bitcoin's the number one performing asset in the last 12 years, period. I mean, there is no asset class that's done anything near what Bitcoin has done, what cryptocurrency has done. May I say to you that I think a lot of people are scared. Most of us are scared of the real estate, are scared of the crypto market because we've been told to be scared of it. We've been told that it's the scary beast that takes people's money. Okay, so that's profitability. Second, liability or liquidity. Liquidity is how quickly can you get out? You bought a home. How quickly can you sell it? It's going to take you a couple months probably to get out of that home. And the more expensive the home and the more exclusive the area, the longer it's going to take you to get out of that home. I mean, there's some homes that are on the market for, even in this market right now, there's homes that have been on the market for 6 months and have not sold. This is what a real estate investment is. It's a 5x leveraged trade with your entire life savings on one single asset. Leverage high, meaning you've got to borrow 80%. The average American has to borrow minimum 80% of the value of that investment in order to invest in it. So leverage high, off the charts for real estate. And if you want to be a real estate investor where you want to leverage one property to buy another property, you're exponentially increasing your leverage, which exponentially increases your liability. And liability, this is the thing about liability. The question is, can I lose more than I've put in? If I invested $100,000, can I lose more than $100,000? And with real estate, the answer to that question is yes. You can get liquidated, and what that looks like is the real estate market crashes, or you lose your job, or you're somehow incapacitated and can't pay the mortgage anymore. You get foreclosed on, and now not only do they take your properties away, but now you got a black mark, a scarlet letter on your credit that's going to last 7 years. That's crazy. So to summarize, you look at the crypto market, high profitability, high liquidity. The real estate market is open 24/7, 365. It's open on Christmas, New Year's, Easter, Thanksgiving. It's open year-round, Saturdays, Sundays, 24 hours a day, meaning if I need to get out of an investment, I can get out of it right now. I can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve night and get out of an investment right now. It's that liquid. Try that with the stock. Try that on a Saturday night when you need to get out of a stock, when you see a message came out that this company is going under. You got to wait till Monday morning, and you can put it in order, but you better hope that order clears, that sell order goes through on Monday morning before you lose more, right? Try getting out of a property quickly. So high liquidity, cryptocurrency, high profitability, high liquidity, low liability. What do I mean by low liability? You can only lose what you invest. Control your liability by investing only what you're willing to lose. And by the way, you can only lose that if the asset goes to zero. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about the strategy for investing in cryptocurrency, because what scares people away is actually not its complexity, but its volatility. People don't want to understand the blockchain. They want to understand why it's so volatile, why it can spike 1,000% and then drop 80%. And so in the next video, I'm going to talk about a strategy for managing the volatility of the crypto market. But in this video, I just want you to understand crypto is high profitability, high liquidity, low liability, low complexity. Even though it seems complex, we can say it's moderately complex. It's no more complex than investing in the stock market. Matter of fact, as a person who's in real estate and in the stock market, it was much easier for me to get into the crypto market than it was for me to get into the stock market. I mean, for crying out loud, open a Coinbase account, click buy, connect your account, and you've bought. Try that on E-Trade. You got to transfer money in, and then you got to come up with the ticker, and then you got to buy exact quantities of that stock. I mean, it's more complex. E-Trade, to me, is more complex than Coinbase. It's actually not that complex. Low liability, low complexity, and low leverage, meaning in order to invest in cryptocurrency, you don't have to borrow a dime. However, as you become more advanced, you can learn to use leverage with a small percentage of your portfolio to your advantage. And if you're interested in that, you can check out my Patreon, because that's what we do there. All right, that's all I got for you in this video. Remember, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the strategy for managing the volatility, because really the volatility is what kills people in the crypto market. It's not understanding the blockchain. I mean, who cares? Nobody understands that. What you understand is you're trying to make a profit, okay? And so I wouldn't spend all my time trying to understand blockchain, but I would spend all my time trying to understand volatility. And so in the next video, we're going to take a look at that. Hope this helped. If this helps you, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and drop me a line, drop me a note letting me know if this content helped you, and give me some ideas for future content. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, I hope this helps. This is what I desire to do. Thanks so much. Blessings to each one of you. Make it your goal to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. And with that being said, this is Cryptogenic signing out.